I'm James Beckwith, President and CEO of Five Star Bank. As a community bank, we believe that open dialogue about the issues affecting our region is vitally important. From the economy to the environment to social issues, we look forward to the conversations and hope you'll join in.
Welcome to Studio Sacramento. I'm your host, Scott Syfax. There are new leaders in the region demanding a voice at the table when decisions are made that will live beyond the baby boomers and impact their lives for years to come. Who are these emerging leaders and what do they want? Joining us today are Carla Collins-Mixon with Matroscope Engineering and board member with the Urban Land Institute, Sean O'Brien with Merrill Lynch and chair of Metro Edge, and Jose Bodipo-Memba with SMUD and the Civic Involvement Chair of Drexel University. Welcome to the program. So tell me, folks, why should you all be included in the conversations that drive decision-making in this region?
Well, I'll start. We bring a lot to the table. We have a lot of talented individuals that are well-educated, they have a lot of resources, and we bring a different perspective. We have a lot of energy and passion, and there's a lot that we can offer and share.
Okay. But other than that, what's different about what you have to say than what's already being said?
We're vested, and we have to bring a different perspective. Again, when we're looking at planning the community for the next 20, 30 years, we want to be here. We're going to be here. We're building our families here. We aren't just looking short term. We're looking long term. And I think we bring a unique perspective based on that. Our experiences, how we communicate, how we operate on a business sense and a social sense, we can provide different opportunities to reach out to different people. So I think it's important for us to be at the table, and I think everyone here and lots of folks who are watching are already active. They just want to be involved more.
Sean, if you were at the table when decisions are being made, can you name one opportunity that you might consider a missed one, that your perspective and your voice and those that you represent might have made a difference?
I'd say the main thing that's missed in looking for long-term investment is in 10, 20 years from now, most of our current professionals are going to be retired, moving on to their next chapter, and it's going to be up to the young professionals of the region to step up as the next generation of leaders.
Carla, I want to ask you, talk to us about an issue where it is that the perspective of the people that you all represent made a difference by being in the room.
Well, the huge topic right now in Sacramento is the new entertainment and sports complex. This is obviously a huge asset for our region, not only Sacramento, but the surrounding region. And I had the opportunity as part of the Young Leaders Group with ULI to sit in many occasions with decision makers in regards to moving this project forward to where it is today, and got together with different young professional groups and had town hall meetings and discussions of what we wanted to see, because we're ultimately going to be the ones that are going to be engaging and participating and going to events and bringing our families there, and it's been a really exciting opportunity for everybody.
Jose, the charge is that your generation is apathetic and unengaged. How do you respond to that?
I think it's
you laugh.
I laugh because I don't believe this is the case. I think Carla's example with the Think Big group is a perfect example of how we are engaged and how we can make things happen. And I want to give Carla a lot of credit for bringing Sean, myself, and others to the table to be involved in the process. And I think the innovation that comes from young energy can make things great in this region. We aren't satisfied with just being a quote, sleepy political town. We really want to take things to that next level. So in terms of the apathy, if you look at what Metro Edge is doing, if you look at what Drexel is doing, if you look at what ULI is doing, Nehemiah, Catalyst, there's lots of organizations that are doing things for the homeless, they're doing things for the disenfranchised, they're doing things in an educational sense. We're doing things right now. And it's just, I think that this is an opportunity for us to let the world know that
So
we're
Sean,
still
it's just a bad rap?
Well, I think if you look how young people are portrayed in the media, you always see protests, things like that. And I feel how I try to portray myself as a young professional as the proud chair of Metro Edge, one of the largest young professional organizations of the area. And we want to be the one voice for the future civic and business leaders of the area. And we're here to stand alongside the current leaders and help you.
Well, one of the charges that I've heard from folks that are a part of your organizations is that, in fact, many times you're brought in as sort of props or set pieces. Is there any truth to that notion? And if it does happen, how do you combat that?
Well, with Think Big, I mean, that's the most recent experience that I've had to be able to be the face for ULI YLG. But I was the face, I was a prop, but I also had a message, and I conveyed that message, and I was able to bring other people into the discussion. But I think that they ultimately needed to hear the voice from the young leader, and they selected me to do that, and I've been trying my best in order to represent our community as best as I could.
Do you have a story to share with us, Carla, about one experience during the Think Big effort where it is that you really felt that your being in the room really made a difference in terms of opening a mind, changing a position, or just giving somebody a different perspective that they hadn't considered before?
Well, probably the time that we were all sitting together at the town hall meeting. We had Kunal Merchant, the chief of staff with the mayor's office there. He was listening to us. We had, 13 individuals from other young leader professional groups, Nehemiah, Ignite, Metro Edge, all these different groups together. We were asking questions, conversating in regards to what we saw needed to be a part of the new arena. And so I think that was kind of maybe a little bit of a game changer.
Do you agree?
I would agree from this perspective. I think first, when you're looking at the whole issue of the props, what can be seen as maybe a slight can also be seen as an opportunity to take advantage and show your talent. And I think that's what the group collectively did. So Carla used the opportunity as being one representative from young professionals to bring others to the table, to bring perspectives. I know Sean sat in the panel, I sat in the panel, and others did as well. I think from that, they realized there are a lot of young professionals that really are engaged and really want to make this project happen and really want to think about it critically. So I think it's about taking advantage of the opportunities, even if they aren't necessarily genuine. And I'm not saying that that wasn't a genuine opportunity, but if there's cases where we are used as props, we still have the opportunity to change the discourse and actually make things happen. And I think if that was the situation there, we definitely were able to turn the tide in that situation.
Let's spend one more moment on this whole arena issue. Now, one of the conversations that I know has taken place is that you all feel that there is a different perspective among your generation than maybe us old folks as to the importance of amenities like that and the region's willingness to invest in those sorts of things. Share with us a little bit about that perspective.
Absolutely. So one thing that, the young professional has definitely voiced in regards to having a new entertainment sports complex. I mean, we need to do whatever it takes in order to be a world-class city, to be a pro sports city, and not
world-class city. So what do you say?
That's what we want.
Well,
we
what
want
do you say to
see
the
that.
people? What do you say to the people who say we like Sacramento just as it is? We want it to be like it was in 1975.
Scott, I had a coach that told me you're either getting better or you're getting worse. Because if you stay the same, that means somebody else is getting better. So if we want to stay complacent, we're not making progress. And so I think moving forward is looking at what attracts the talent, what keeps the talent in Sacramento. I look at someone like Sean, what his organization is doing to gather the talent in Sacramento and bring them together is phenomenal. It's not going with the status quo, it's taking the Metro Chamber and adding another layer to it. I think the sports and entertainment complex would also do something like that. It's the amenities that keep employers here, that keep employees here, that keep new talent here that we're interested in.
Sean, in leading your organization, Metro Edge, what is the chatter that goes on in terms of what's going to keep people from your generation here and investing in this region and just keep them engaged?
Our main focus right now is the other cities that are pulling our young professionals from us.
Like?
San Francisco. I don't even like to say the name to give them credit.
Anywhere in the Bay Area, really.
Yeah, when I think of San Francisco, I think of expensive parking, I can't find a spot. And I love Sacramento. So really what's important to our young professionals is keeping us here for the long term. We want people staying, raising families, attracting in other young professionals. And what we have really witnessed is making investments for the long term. It's never easy, but we feel if Sacramento could step up, make this investment for the long term, it's going to really put Sacramento above and beyond all other cities that we're compared to.
What are the other investments that are important to your generation and the ones that are coming up behind you?
I'd say right now, look at the changes that have been made to K Street in just the downtown area. That's something that young professionals are very interested in. By looking at Sacramento and the changes that we've made, people consider Sacramento as the stop between San Francisco and Tahoe, and I hate to even say that, but when you actually invite people into our community, they say, wow, this is an amazing place. So really it's about continuing those great investments and keeping our young professionals here.
So where are we not? Yeah,
well, I just want to jump in. I think Sean mentioned the great point about what's happening downtown K Street. But the other thing I think that the misnomer about young professionals is that all we want to do is party and hang out and go to bars. We're also interested in having educational facilities in the downtown corridor that we can raise our families around and have our kids go to strong schools and have safe streets and safe parks. So those are another aspect of this, quote, downtown renaissance that we've been discussing that we're interested in. We're very vested in the environment. And so I think it's a 360-degree look at the downtown existence that we really need to focus on.
Let's get out of the downtown, though. Let's get out to South Placer. Let's get up to El Dorado. Let's get down to Elk Grove. Let's talk about this from a regional perspective.
Okay.
If you all were making the decision, name 2 or 3 areas where there has been disinvestment or no investment, and there needs to be concentration and focus in order to create the type of community that is going to be sticky and not only attract people, but keep people here. What are those? Just 2 or 3.
Well, I think connectivity and transit is extremely important. Again, if you look at cities like Denver, where they've been able to collaborate on a regional level and get the suburban areas and the urban areas to connect, it allows for the whole overall region to grow. So I think if we're able to find ways to get Elk Grove, to get Folsom, and to get all these different areas to connect on a transit level, that's going to strengthen the region.
If we look at the comments section of the B, the majority of those comments would say, it's a big boondoggle, you know, more waste of public funds. Make the case against the haters, we'll call them. All right? That is the term you guys use, right? The haters?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
That say no to everything. Make the case for these big public investments. We're broke, you know, local governments don't have any money, the state's broke. Why would we be investing now?
You know, what I feel is looking at the future, when the young professionals are at the front of the helm, many of our current leaders are going to be stepping back. And that's why we need them as our mentors, to teach us to step up to the plate and take over our community. And I feel if we don't make investments today, there aren't going to be young professionals to take over. And it's really a multiplier effect of jobs in Sacramento and keeping our community great. And I think we're going to do that by the young professionals really stepping up and leading the region, so we need to make those investments today.
Let's get back to those investments. What are the other areas where we need to see more investments, Carla?
More investments. I mean, we talked about the education. Are you talking about regional or?
Regional.
Regional.
Regional or local. I don't really care. What I'm trying to get a sense of is this, is that if you all have particular needs that are not being met right now, what are those needs?
Definitely the education. I mean, I was telling Jose earlier that I have a family, you know, and I may not stay in the Sacramento region. I may go out to Rockland, you know, Placer County, because of the amenities that they have there. They have one of the best school districts, so we need that. The treescapes, you know, keeping our parks maintained so we can have a place to bring our kids and, you know, our pets and whatnot, and feel safe. That's one thing, and I know they've been cutting every single area of the Parks and Rec and education, but we need to definitely invest in that, as well as our downtown and revitalizing that whole aspect.
So education, transportation, one more.
Well, I say the arts is extremely important as well, and I think that we've actually been doing a tremendous job regionally in terms of investing in the arts, and you know what Folsom's done in other parts of the region. But I think it's important. Those amenities help bring companies, help bring families to this area. I think the biggest misnomer, and Sean mentioned about the Bay Area and San Francisco, is once folks from the Bay Area come out here and see what we have, their opinion of this region changes. And I think if we can make our outward-facing self more appealing by being able to highlight some of these amenities, it can really attract folks and keep folks here.
If I can add to that, you know, absolutely, we definitely need to invest in the arts. I mean, we're known as one of the most diverse cities in the nation, and so we really need to kind of exploit that a little bit and show them that we can bring all these different great things about who we all are here. And we also need to invest and encourage world-class architecture. You know, just like the Crocker Art Museum, like the Cal Stirs building, the Cal Lottery. We need to continue to have folks, developers, architects working on something that looks amazing and really attractive.
That is, and that kind of goes to a secondary issue, which is that the reason I'm told, among the many reasons, we don't have world-class architecture is a government town mentality. That, in fact, that this is a region that celebrates mediocrity rather than celebrating success. It celebrates everyone being sort of the same, okay? Now, these are just comments that people make. In order to bring in this creative class, this entrepreneurial class, to get young professionals to stay, is there any truth to the charge that we are not a town that celebrates doing edgy, innovative things, from architecture to entrepreneurship?
I would agree with that. Looking at the last Metro Chamber study mission, my vice chair, Ryan Porter, hilarious guy, not as funny as me, he went on it. And to steal one of his sayings is, after coming back from New Orleans, they have swagger. They are proud of who they are. And I think as a Sacramentan, we're proud of our community, but we have something that's so amazing, we need to really stand up and shout.
So we don't
how
have
great
any
we are.
swagger?
Well, you
Not
do.
yet?
You do, you do, Scott.
Exactly.
Oh, so my generation doesn't have any swagger then?
I was talking to you as an individual.
Okay.
No, I think Sean hits on a great point. There's a lot, again, there's a lot of amenities, a lot of benefits that this region offers that we don't necessarily recognize.
Like?
Again, you talked about the treescape. Again, you talk about Sacramento being a city of trees, but the
The
walkability,
rivers, too.
the rivers. Again, the ability to connect and network, the fact that all of us here at this table have had opportunities to collaborate, that may not be able to happen in the Bay Area, in some parts of Southern California. So there's so much potential to grow and work together and do things the right way. I think Sacramento has some great opportunities in front of it, and I think we're doing okay, but we can get better, and I think that's what we're looking to do.
So be this region's physicians for a moment. Let's do a diagnosis. If you're looking at symptoms of the maladies that we've got to fix and get well from, name a couple. What has to change? What are the game changers?
Well, I think one thing, we've already talked about the downtown, you know, sparking that development, but being part of a world-class city also means that you have to have those amenities. You have to have the nightlife. You have to have the restaurant, stuff that's a little bit more of a 24-hour, you know, it's not, we don't need to be the next Vegas or anything like that, but we do need to have a little bit more energy going on throughout downtown and places that are all kind of connected, these little districts that we would like to create so that people can get out, they can walk around and enjoy, you know, Sacramento scenery. So I think that's one.
I think we definitely need to celebrate entrepreneurship and create an environment for entrepreneurs and for businesses to work successfully in this region.
Is this a business-friendly town?
I'd have to say it's not the most business-friendly town, and I think that the numbers, in terms of you look at organizations that are leaving this region, whether it's Waste Management, whether it's Sure West, or what have you, the symptoms, again, if we're playing doctor here, are that we're not getting better. So I think we need to do some things to change that environment. And also, I think we need to let folks know, because there are businesses that are succeeding in this region. They're actually coming from other areas sometimes to succeed in this region. We need to highlight those. We need to take a look at what's going right. And then maybe go ahead and take a look at the best practices and try to apply those to other areas. I mean, I think what Sean in the Metro Chamber are doing in terms of doing study missions and evaluating other regions is important. But I think we need to make sure we take those lessons and put them into practice.
Sean, what's your game changer?
I think the Chamber, once again, has made great steps with the Next Economy, Valley Vision, SARTA, everyone just working together. And I think it's been terrific on the lines of communication that have been placed. And it's, I'm very hopeful for the future.
So let's talk about Next Economy for a moment. The Next Economy effort is one where it is that a lot of the region's leaders are coming together to try and put some concentrated focus on trying to grow the next economy, to diversify it away from government. What's the role that you all are playing or want to play within that effort?
The thing that I would point out first that I'm so grateful for is there's an amazing young professional on that committee, Mark Otero. He's a great small business owner. He started Click Nation here in Sacramento. He loves Sacramento. So I'm so happy that we do have one voice on that panel. And the community has been great in inviting us to all these meetings and really having us be a part of it. So it's an honor to work with them.
Right. And I think the outreach, again, from Barbara Hayes and from the Valley Vision folks and what have you has been tremendous. I would say this, and not to be a criticism, but something that we do need to work on, not just for young professionals, but for other quote-unquote disenfranchised groups, is trying to find ways to make those meeting times accessible for other folks to be in the room. Because I'm lucky enough to have an employer that allows me to participate because we're very community focused. But for the folks that can't get there at 2:30 or at 12 o'clock or what have you to participate, looking at diversifying that approach might allow more folks to get in the room. Because I know that one of the self-critiques that the Next Economy group made on itself was the lack of diversity in the first set of meetings. So I think they're starting to make those changes. And as soon as we can listen, to what the community needs, I think that will allow the process to be more inclusive.
Let's go back to diversity for a second, Carla. In terms of the diversity of efforts like Next Economy, now you all represent a number of different facets of this region, but how are we doing at reaching not only younger people, but also people who have historically not had a voice in the decision-making of the region? How can we do better there?
Well, I think that, you know, specifically the city of Sacramento has started to definitely do that. That's how I got involved with the arena, but also through the JKL discussion. And so they were reaching out to different young professional groups, and as we continue to move along this process and try to have a voice, they're going to continue to look at us. Same thing with ULI. Different entities within Sacramento have come to us as the experts to help them on, you know, studies on urban land use issues. And we all have a little bit different things to offer, and so we can participate, and we want to participate. And I think they have been doing a better job at that. But I think maybe getting out to the surrounding cities, Folsom, you know, Roseville, those other areas, I think we could do a little bit better job of engaging them and bringing them here locally to have a discussion.
Now there's an alphabet soup of programs. You know, we've got ULI, Metro Edge, NELP, Catalyst, all of these different groups. I'm curious, how well do you all get along together and program together?
You know, it's been great just in meeting people throughout our community. I met Jose. I was introduced through Michael Smith at Tykert, and I said, "Hey, Jose, we got to grab lunch. I hear you're a great guy." So I think with
Was he?
He's okay. No, I'm kidding. He's now a good friend of mine. So I feel that with being a young professional, we really enjoy reaching out to people, meeting new people. And to touch on your earlier point about, you know, how the business community is working with reaching out to young professionals, I feel they are getting better. When I think of Metro Edge, I'm just a proud chair of over 450 young professionals. We really want to be the one voice of the future business and civic leader. And what I say to the current leaders of our region is view us as a resource. If you would list out a current leader's resume of his and or her connections, whether it's family, you know, married, different boards, leading a community, and then you compare that to a young professional's list of commitments. I'm not married, I don't have kids. My mom has a big problem with that. But we don't have as many of these responsibilities, and we have so much more time to give back to our community and fight for the city that we love, Sacramento.
All right. We're down to our last minute, and so I've got one final question for all of you. And that is that let's project out that we're 20 years in the future, 2032. Sacramento is going to be known for something. What's it going to be known for? Jose?
I think my answer is a little bit unique. I think we're going to be known as a city of the past and the future. I think the history of Sacramento is tremendous and something we can capitalize on. And I think with the arena, the intermodal, we're going to have some futuristic projects that really are going to set the standard for the region and for the nation. So I'm excited about that.
Okay. Down to our last 30 seconds. Sean?
We're going to be a blueprint for what other cities should study to how to really put our city even bigger on the map and be a national destination.
All right. Carla, you get the last word.
Last word. You know, I just really want to touch again on our diversity here, and I think that we really can exercise that a little bit further and be a place where people can really come and enjoy a little bit of everything. The arts, the kings, the rivers, you know, family time, the parks, everything.
Okay. Well, folks, that's our future and that's our show. Thanks to our guests and thanks to you for watching. I'm Scott Syphax. See you next time right here on KVIE.
I'm James Beckwith, President and CEO of Five Star Bank. As a community bank, we believe that open dialogue about the issues affecting our region is vitally important. From the economy to the environment to social issues, we look forward to the conversations and hope you'll join in.